everybody, welcome back to Sharon's Space. I am Shaz and I'm so excited to be bringing you this video today to talk about the basic business fundamentals. Let's get started. So my first thing I want to talk to you about today is that everyone's business and everyone's basic business fundamentals is going to be probably completely different depending upon whether you've got a product related business, whether you've got a service related business, whether you're in direct sales, network marketing. Everyone's business is going to be a little bit different when you're thinking about the basic business fundamentals. I had some conversations recently which has led me to doing this video, and one of the questions that I was asked was, if I had no idea what to do, Shaz, what would you recommend that I did on a daily, weekly basis to make sure that my business was actually humming along and I was moving in a forward direction? What would your advice be? Now, if your business is in startup, it's really important to think about things like financial, bookkeeping, and having business accounts for your business money, not withdrawing on that for personal, all of those things, but they are for you to have that conversation with bookkeepers, accountants, and not necessarily myself, because they are the qualified professionals to talk with you about that. But it is important that you've got that checked off, that you know what is required, you know what you need to do, and you know what the rules and regulations are when we're talking about the financial management side of running a business. Another basic business fundamental is having some sort of marketing strategy or marketing plan or campaign, if you like. And that is something that I love to talk about, and it's something that can be done with a very, very basic marketing strategy in mind, or it can be incredibly a complicated marketing strategy depending upon the product, the business, the services that you offer. So let me just give you some basics in what that potentially could look like for you, and especially if you are in startup and you don't have a plan, you don't have a marketing strategy, you're not showing up on a consistent basis, and you're not really sure what all that should look like with a basic marketing plan fundamental, then stay with me, because that's what we're going to talk about next. And keeping in mind that generally you are going to need to have an investment of time or money when we're talking about marketing strategy. Initially, if you are a very, very new startup business and you are doing business on a budget, you're very new, very solo, very raw, you may have some time to invest, but the monetary side of things is not necessarily up here, as the time is up here for you. So you need to establish where you are with that. It might be equal. So the different strategies will depend upon whether you've got more time, more money, a combination of the both to invest. But let me just talk with you a little bit about having more time to invest than money, because a lot of the VIPs that I work with through my consulting business, that is them. They're in startup. They have a goal, they have a purpose, they have a passion, they have a plan for what they want their business to look like. But the strategy is where they need the most help, and they need to do that on a budget. So some of my advice when you're doing that is to think about scheduling out what your business hours are going to be like. So if you're choosing to work 2 days or 5 days or 7 days, whatever, everyone is completely different, and no judgment here on what that looks like, but knowing what that looks like. So having yourself a timetable, because if you had a job, you would have a roster, you would have a timetable, and you would have expectations of what you would need to do within those hours of your work, what you were expected to do, what you need to do to tick all those boxes of an employee. You need to, in some sense, especially if you struggle with that self-employment and that self-motivation to actually deliver, to show up, to get things done, having a roster and having your time allocation will help you to be so much more productive in your business, and especially with the marketing strategy. Because if you're not talking to people, you're not talking to the marketplace, you're not talking to your customers, you're not talking to potential new customers, then you're not having those engagements. And those engagement comes in different ways, but you're not out there promoting your products or services. You're not going to then have that come back to you. So it's important to have those times set aside that you're going to have where you're actually going to be working. So that is the biggest tip that I can give you for being productive, is having a look at what your schedule looks like and learning to employ yourself in your own business. So once we've been able to do that, then we can talk marketing strategy as one of the basic business fundamentals. So the business strategy or the marketing strategy might be that you have on a Monday, you have a Facebook group, or three is a good number I find with Facebook group marketing, that you are able to go into on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because it's a daily marketing strategy. It might not be every day, but if it is for you, then do it 7 days. If it's 3 days, do it your 3. If it's 2 days, do it your 2 days. Know what your schedule looks like. Let's say Facebook is going to be one of your marketing strategies in groups. You need to identify what those groups are and why you are in there and how you can deliver your product and service in those groups to abide by those rules. But that needs to be scheduled. So let's say for this example, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So in those 3 groups that you're a part of to build your business, then the Monday, it might be Marketing Monday. So what can you do on that Monday that is going to help and promote your business? It might be a different topic in another group. There might be no topics at all, that, no hashtags for that particular group, and it's free posting. But if you don't know when you're showing up and you don't have that plan, you're likely to have a whole month go by and you've probably posted once in those 3 groups. So having that strategy is really important. And also too, if you wanted to take it a step further, knowing what your outlook is for the month. So let's just say for the month of July, your focus, your primary focus for your business is to build your VIP customers. So whether that is in a product or service, basically having more customers you can sell or that are purchasing from you. So everything that you do in that given month or leading up to that should be focused around what that goal is for that month. It shouldn't look like you're promoting a thing here that's not relevant to what the goal is for the month, and you're saying something over here in this networking function that you attend, which is so not relevant to what you need right now. So everything needs to be cohesive and everything needs to be in alignment with what that goal is for that month. So let's say it is looking at getting some new customers. So on those Facebook posting days, that's what you're talking about. Now, if it is one that is, for example, you can't post business links on a set day, but it's a Wednesday and you're posting on a Wednesday because it's part of your plan, and it's something like gratitude or more of me. It's something where you can give or a tip, but it's not something that you're promoting business links. Don't choose not to show up for that because you don't have the opportunity to promote your product or service. You show up for that, you build trust, and you give value, and that all comes back to you. Because if you think about your strategy and the way you do business as a pipe, and you're constantly putting things into that pipe, the posts, the value, the content, the emails, all the different stuff that you've got, the ability to do in one's business, networking, it goes on. There's a massive list of how many options you've got for marketing. You're constantly doing that, it will come out the other end. It's just the way that it has to work. But when you stop and start and you pick and choose, depending upon whether it's a post that you can do that predominantly promotes your products or services, I think the universe has a magical way of identifying that and not necessarily putting you at the top of the list when it is marketing. Believe it or not, everyone has their own opinion, but I'm a true believer of that you've also got to give to actually receive. So on the days where it is more of me or gratitude, you can still be in alignment with what your purpose is for that month, but you reword that. So more of me could be that you could talk about being your own best customer and what you love when you are buying products and services from others. These are the things that ticks huge boxes with me. And then you could give a social shout out in that post about somebody that might have ticked all those boxes for you recently, because that in itself is in alignment with talking about customers, which is your goal for the month. So it's just about having that little bit of a strategic thought process about having everything that's cohesive in your marketing when you know what your goal and purpose is for that month. And let's just say another one of the marketing strategies might be posting on social media. So if that's you and you know that you need to show up on social media and you know that you need to do the post, but you're really struggling with time of doing that, then there is an amazing option of resources out there that will help you understand the social media scheduling, posting, more about content and what to post. So many things out there. If you wanted to be a part of a tribe that help and support you, and you want to hear more from me, then I will leave a link in the description of this this video, where you can actually go and you can request to be a part of our tribe, which follows those group rules that I mentioned with hashtags and different options. And also too, you have the opportunity in there to learn more about content. You have the opportunity in there to learn more about how you can show up and you can schedule. And I do lives on a consistent basis in that group as part of my giving and my marketing strategy. So you'll hear more about that in there. But if you don't have any sort, if Facebook, for example, is one of your strategies and you do not have a structure to that, then it's not one of your strategies. And I say that with love and respect, but you can't pick and choose these things. It's part of your marketing strategy if you're not doing it consistently. So it might be your consistency might be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Mine might be 7 days a week to post once a day in my business Facebook group. That doesn't matter. It's kind of irrelevant, but it's actually having some sort of consistent action that suits you, your workflow, your vibe, your business, your energy, that you are committed to doing. Because when you are here, there, and everywhere, everything eventually will be a big hot mess. So having that scheduling and those content ideas is really important. So to further on from that, let's just say that we're using the example yet again that it is about getting more customers, and you need to post in your Instagram or your Facebook, and that you're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for example's sake. So what you would do in those days, you wouldn't post necessarily in those particular 3 days product posts or posts that were about different topics and what you're wanting to achieve for that month. What you would post about and what you would lead people to think about and to connect with you about is what you're wanting to achieve. So if you have a Facebook group, for example, and you're wanting more followers, you're wanting more customers, you're wanting more people to pick up on your VIP service offer, then if you have a Facebook group for your business, you would be promoting that, not in all 3 posts, but you would have one of those posts probably 4 times throughout that month that is about your Facebook group, because Facebook groups is a great platform for your followers and your people and your tribe and your crew to be around the flagpole so they can consistently see what you're doing in that structured group. Another post might be about subscribing to your client newsletter. You want more clients, you want more people to stay with you in the business. Have you promoted your client newsletter or your email list, a way for people to subscribe to your offering so you can actually have more customers, you can have more of those sales coming in if that's your focus? Have you done that? Is that a part of your marketing strategy for that month? And if it's not, then it probably should be if your goal is to get more sales through the door. So another marketing strategy that you might have is that you might be doing a email or a newsletter And if you are, my recommendation is that you do it consistently, like everything else that I've said. So if that is part of your strategy, you can call it part of your strategy if it's consistent and you know that you're going to follow through with that. Now, if you don't have an email marketing campaign or a strategy or way for anyone to subscribe to a list, if you don't have any of that sorted out, then you can absolutely reach out and we can have that conversation. And if you search through the YouTube videos and you come over to our tribe, you will see that there's some explanation, some training and support on how to actually have that email option of capturing someone's email address and then setting up an email schedule or a funnel, if you like, where they're consistently getting the information, and they're also part of your regular email, e-news, newsletter, mail out. And that way they are staying around the flagpole, you're keeping them informed, but email is also a great place, and it should be a part of your strategy too. So if your strategy for the month is, yet again, to get more customers, you're not going to put in your email strategy, the whole lot of your content is not going to be about how to create a fabulous event or how to do X, Y, and Z, or about these other particular things, when your purpose is about getting more customers and about having more sales. Then that's predominantly what that needs to be about. There needs to be a balance in there though, if it's a weekly thing where you're giving value, you're adding service, you're showing up, you're being significant, you're being real. That is a few of those steps in there. But the predominant information or the core purpose of that, it should be what your core purpose is for that given month. And if it's not cohesive, you could just imagine from a person looking in, let's just say that you're looking in at me and I'm over here on social media and I'm promoting events, and then I am on my email list and I'm promoting mindset work completely, and there's no relevance or no mention of events, it's just mindset work. And then I'm over here in my Facebook groups and I'm promoting something that's completely the opposite, like a Facebook audit or an email audit or a text audit. It's just all a big mess. So as much as it's all very valuable and as much as it's all very fabulous, if you can be cohesive about what you're doing and you can block it out like that, you'll find that you are so much more on point, you're so much more in your stress-free zone when you can have that focus and that purpose and point to that given topic that you're focusing on for that month. Now I'm going to use markets as a option. So markets, trade stalls, trade tables, something where, because I know that we talk with a lot of product related businesses, and this is something that's not really spoken about through marketing experts or really a lot these days, but they do exist. And I know the way of the world is kind of changing and what we can do and what we can't do and stuff like that. But markets, if it's an option, is another one we can talk about. So if you have a product or service, let's say you love that social engagement, then markets might be for you. Now they can be for you, and that can be a part of your marketing strategy if you're prepared to commit to what it is that's required for you to consistently show up. That might be every Saturday. Are you prepared to do that? Will you honor that commitment for that to be a part of your strategy where you can show your products? Is it fortnightly? Is it once a month? If it is once a month, maybe you need to find 2 markets that you're doing and at least be doing that twice within the month for that to be a part of your strategy. And that would be a part of that strategy if your goal is to sell more product or have more customers, because you're there, you're communicating, it's high connection, you're there with your products, and it is a part of that marketing strategy for that month. So the next one I'm going to talk about is networking. You all know that I'm a huge fan of the networking, and if you are attending networking functions, if you're not sure what networking is, you don't know if it's got a place in your business strategy, your marketing plan, then have a look through here in Sharon Space. You'll see an authentic networking YouTube, and I take you through the 3 elements. So the before, the during, and the after of a networking function. And I believe you'll get so much value out of that if you're really new and raw to the networking scene. But let's say you're going to your regular networking event and it's fortnightly. So you're going to go twice within that month, twice within this July we're referring to. So what are you going to do at that networking function? Your sole purpose and point is to still focus on what your core is, your core messaging for that month. And it is about getting new customers, it's about getting new followers, it's about, if it's about selling the product, so it's about getting some sales, right? So let's say that that is the case. What are you going to do at that networking function? If you are a product related business and it's permissible for you to do this, you will take some or a sample or sample bags or an item that people can look, feel and touch when you are delivering your message to that audience. Now, if you have the opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself at this networking function, then you would say, hi, I am, and today I wanted to talk to you about specifically whatever that product or service is, whatever your goal is for that month, and this is how you can help me. Feel free to, and I'll pass it around for everyone to touch, feel and smell if that's something that you can do with your product or play with or whatever it might very well be. If it's a service orientated thing that you're promoting to get more customers and get new business on that specific topic, then talk about a recent customer referral or success that you've had. So if you've just worked with Mary and Mary gave you an amazing review about how you were able to take Mary's business from here to here by implementing this, this and this, maybe talk about that, because that is going to attract new business, new sales, new customers to you, and it's still in alignment with what your goal and purpose is for that month. But what you wouldn't do is you wouldn't go there and you wouldn't talk about things that are not relevant to what that goal and purpose is, because if you're doing that at that networking function, you're asking for things that you don't really want, or you're putting things out there that you don't really want to sell. So be on point with all of your strategies, whatever they look like, and it is a basic business fundamental to have some sort of marketing plan, some sort of strategy. It could be Facebook advertising. It could be so many different things. I mean, there is an array of different options, and I will pop in the description some offline marketing strategies as well. Not online, but offline marketing strategies that you might like to think about in the description here that will help you to have a look at the options that are out there. And these particular strategies are not something that people talk about, because we're all so fancy with social media and we're all so fancy doing our YouTube videos and different things. There's so many more things out there that you can choose from. Some of them are going to fit and some of them are so not going to be a part of your brand or your business or your product. But there's so many options out there. And if you know that there's so many options out there and you're prepared to trial a few different things to get your 4, and I recommend having 4 marketing strategies as a basic business fundamental, because if you think about the analogy of a table, and a table with 4 legs, I know there's tables that have got less and more, but we're going to say 4 legs, okay? So traditionally a table with 4 legs, if it's a 4-legged table and you take one of those legs off there, it's all wobbly. You take another one off there, it's like this. And if it's got one leg, it's just not standing at all. So if you think of your business strategy like that, and you've got 4 consistent, cohesive things that are happening, that is for your core message for that month, you will find that that's what's happening out there in your marketing, and that's what people are thinking about, and that's what you're going to bring in to your business. And as much as there is so many basic business fundamentals, and I've only spoken about a few today, I am going to finish off here talking about the business basic fundamental of oneself, which is you. And especially if you're a solo business operator, or you are a business operator that manages a team, you still need to think about yourself, because often we give so much that we don't actually allow that to happen. But like I've said before, if you're not fitting your own mask first and you're not breathing, then you're not in the place mentally, physically, or anything else to then help and affect in a positive sense the people that you love, the people you care about, your customers, and everybody around you. So it is important as a basic business fundamental that you find the time, whatever that be. It might be once a month for you, it might be half a day, once a month, that you allow yourself to go on a discovery day, a retreat day, a catching up with mates day, whatever that looks like, or friends or family, whatever that is. It might be once a week for you. It could be 2-3 times a week. It just depends. But finding that time where you can give to yourself, and I've shared before in previous videos what that looks like for me. The fact that I give to myself genuinely every day, and this has been a long time in the process of happening, but I start my business and my work at a certain time of the day, and then I finish at a certain time of the day, and I do that 4 days a week. I also have a catch-up session with some friends that I do once a month, and I do some networking and different things from a business point of view that I socially love, and it's really filling my cup up. So there's things that I do that I can tick those boxes, but there's going to be times where you are feeling a little bit off and you're exhausted and you just know that something's not right. Although the sales might be coming in and everything visually or financially looks okay, but you're exhausted. That is a good sign that you just need to not necessarily stop anything, but just take a bit of time to just be with yourself or do something for yourself, because that will, by feeding your own mask, it will ensure the health and the mental mindfulness of everything that you do. Because if that's left untouched and that's left to go on, it becomes a little bit of like a cyst that will just fester, and it will just not look good at the end of it. So it's really important that you manage yourself as a business. Basic, fundamental. Thank you for joining me today to talk about some basic business fundamentals. They might not be the basic business fundamentals that you were thinking were going to be spoken about, but I hope you've got value out of that, and it's certainly got you thinking about a few things within your business. If you'd like to continue having this conversation with me and with our tribe, then as I said, you will find the details of our tribe's Facebook group in the description of this YouTube, and we look forward to seeing you over there. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye.